And welcome to this week's edition of the Daily Reflector's Fearless Football Forecast. I'm Jordan Anders. He's Ronnie Woodward. We're out here at J.H. Rose this week, Ronnie. The schedule got shuffled around a little bit. We're hitting Rose twice for
brave the weather a little bit.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. It's not raining anymore on Wednesday afternoon. But we're here at Rose. Rose is one of the three teams that's at home this week. We've got 5 games. South Central is off, the last team in the county to take their bye week. So they'll be back in action next week. We'll have a fun slate next week with Rose and Conley and some other big games. But looking at this,
Falcons are red hot, by the way.
Yeah, they're really good.
They're really
dropping going into the bye after dropping 84 points. But this week we've got 5 games, got 3 at home, and a couple of really big games that have conference championship and conference standings implications. And we'll start with that. With the first game of the week is the one that I'm going to be at on Friday night, and that is Kinston at Ayden-Grifton, Ronnie. And I'm looking forward to this one because this was a game that was close last year. This is an Ayden-Grifton team that has won, I think it's 4 in a row. They're playing really, really well. They got a last-minute win last week at Washington. Went to the air to get that, the final score, which was a little kind of. I joked with Paul Cornwell this week about asked him the last time that they did that, and he laughed at me.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since they've gone to the air to pull out the last minute score, but they did that. They beat Washington. They're 2-0 in conference. Kinston is still undefeated this year. They're 7-0. So this one should be really fun out in Littlefield. I'm looking forward to this. I think Kinston, obviously, their record speaks for itself. They played really well, but man, as much as we kind of beat to death how good Conley has been, how good South Central has been this year, this Ayden-Grifton team really kind of looks like a team that's getting on the right track. They're really starting to pick up a lot of momentum, and this is a huge game for them at home. This is, the winner of this game will be one of that could be the only unbeaten team left. West Craven is still unbeaten in that league. They play Friday night, but we'll see how this one turns out. The winner of this one will obviously have kind of the inside track to the conference championship, and definitely. I like the Chargers here because I like them being at home, and I like how well they're running the ball on the ground. Ray Darden rushed for right at 300 yards on Friday at Washington, so they're running the ball really well, moving the ball well, but defensively playing solid still, and I think the Chargers get the win here.
All right. I think I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm not thrilled about it, though. I'm not going to lie. Just the 7-0 with Kinston, I wish I knew or had seen Kinston play, maybe knew more of their personnel, that kind of thing, I guess, to really kind of break it down, like college game day style or whatever. But I'm with you. I think Ayden-Grifton's at home. I'm scared a little bit, I guess, hesitant from last week. They struggled. Mm-hmm. Not really struggled, but it was a close game against Washington.
To win,
I don't think Washington's that good. Again, I don't know where Kinston is either in that kind of barometer. So I'm going to take Ayden-Grifton at home. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to have to play really well to do it. I saw them play a couple, weeks ago, and they blew out one of the Lenore's. South Lenore. So the run game is there. You mentioned Darden, really physical, big back. I think they're going to have to control the tempo. If it becomes a shootout, Kinston has a lot of talent, usually some skill guys. Mm-hmm. If they can outscore Kinston or outscore Ayden-Grifton, I could totally see Kinston going in there and winning.
Right.
But Ayden-Grifton's hot. There's no reason to pick against them right now. So I'll take Paul Cornwell. I'll take Darden. Them grinding it out and kind of winning another close game, but I think it's going to be a tough one for sure. That's no doubt, like one of the games of the year I think we're going to see in Pitt County this season.
Agreed.
Another one potentially here. I'll take this one. I will be at Conley Friday. I haven't seen the Vikings play yet. I'm looking forward to checking out Holt Nailers and CJ Johnson and the crew. They're hosting New Bern, 4-4 in New Bern, but 3-0 in the league. New Bern. That's the key. They got off. The Bears always play a tough stretch, tough schedule early with Havelock and some of the Craven County teams, and they'll play some Wilmington teams, that type of thing. So New Bern's sneaky. I think I told you a few weeks ago. I think New Bern's going to beat either Conley or South Central, or somehow factor into this thing. This is no doubt Conley's probably biggest game of the year, toughest test at least they've had in the past 4 or 5 weeks. They've been steamrolling teams. They've been scoring. Holt Nailers, if you touched on in the paper, a few times, leads the whole state in touchdown passes. I mean, they're what we expected. Yeah. And like I said, New Bern is kind of on the rise, and I think a team you can't sleep on right now for sure. That said, I'll take the Vikings. It's kind of the same thing as Ayden-Grifton. I'm more confident in my Conley pick for sure than Ayden-Grifton. Right. I just think Conley's better. Like I said, I think if New Bern beats somebody, it might be South Central. I think South Central travels there maybe in a few weeks. So I'll take Conley. I think it's a good game. I'm looking forward to covering it. I think it's going to be close. A lot of talent on the field, but I'll take it at home. I'll take the Vikings.
Right, and this way you said they are what we've expected, and offensively they have been. Defensively, I was there when they beat Aycock 70-6 on Friday night.
Point, yeah.
Got some crap from the defensive coaches for us saying on the show last week that they were probably going to give up around 30 points maybe. That absolutely was not the case. They went out there and they just absolutely laid the wood to Aycock. And it wasn't just the number of points they gave up or the number of yards. It was that team was hitting hard. Those guys, they were just pounding Aycock, playing really, really well defensively. This week, obviously, going to be a tougher challenge, but I'm with you. I think they carry over from, they've won, I think it's 6 in a row now, playing really well on both sides of the ball. It's kind of scary to look at what this team could be if this defense continues to play well, as well as the offense is playing. So I think that's going to be a really fun matchup for you to cover. But I think the Vikings are going to pick up the win there. The third home game and the final one is going to be over here at Rose. The Rampants coming off a bye, taking on a Southern Wayne team that Ronnie almost beat New Bern this past Friday. That was something we didn't touch on with Conley. This is a New Bern team coming in that had to score in the final minute to win on the road at Southern Wayne last week. That Southern Wayne team now comes here. I saw them earlier in the year get absolutely just steamrolled by South Central. I don't know that Rose will do the same to them, but I think this is a situation where a Rose team that beat Aycock in overtime and then went into their bye off of that momentum, now coming in against a team that hasn't won a game yet this year. Southern Wayne played really well, kind of a moral victory against New Bern. Might carry over a little bit against a Rampants team that's been kind of shaky this year, but I think with Rose at home, I think this is a perfect opportunity for them with the season they've had, they got to take advantage of situations like this where they could be 2-1 in the league and still kind of in the mix despite how poorly they played early in the year, and I think that's what they do. I think they take care of business here at home and get the win Friday night.
All right, yeah, I'll keep it brief on this one. Rose can't take, as you said, any win for granted. That at this point, the season they're having and kind of the way they've been up and down a little bit. But I do think they win this one again. I think at home, off a bye week, health can be an issue with them at times. So I'll take the Rampants at home. I think they win it, and potentially convincingly if they play well, if they don't turn the ball over, if they're crisp. I think they can pile up on Southern Wayne the way some of the other teams have. Next game here. Farmville Central is at North Johnston, a game we talked about here a minute ago off air. North Johnston's 4-3. They were really, really bad when I was mainly doing preps 4 or 5 years ago. They were like the team like Southern Wayne that just got blown out every week and went on these long losing streaks. So evidently North Johnston's better than obviously I remember from those years. Farmville Central's 3-4. Both these teams are winless in the Eastern Plains. They're 0-1. So this is a game where, if you lose and you're 0-2, you're slipping down into that bottom of the league.
Definitely.
If you want to be in the hunt for a playoff spot or kind of be in the middle of the pack, this is a huge game, especially for the Jaguars, because, again, on paper and just tradition, I think, Farmville is probably a better team than North Johnston, but the 4-3 record by North Johnston, stands out to me. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I'm going to pick the Jaguars again because I know more about them, to be honest, and I think they can go there and win. But I'm intrigued by North Johnston. Like I said, obviously, as you can tell, I'm intrigued by this game and how close it could be, or maybe how not close it is. But I think Farmville goes on the road, gets a win, which means they will probably underachieve and lose because we always pick Farmville wrong. But I'm going with the Jaguars this week.
Yeah, I'll take the Jaguars too, only because I saw this game last year. This was a game that North Johnston came to Farmville and was kind of the favorite, if I remember correctly. It was later in the year where they had a chance to kind of put a wrap on or clinch a share of the conference title, and Farmville Central just absolutely dump trucked that North Johnston team. Played really well and beat them. I believe it was 45-14. So they played well in that that matchup. I think this year, coming off of a tough loss in which they didn't really accomplish a whole lot at Nash Central, I think Farmville Central comes in with a little bit of a chip on its shoulder and goes on the road and grinds out a win. I don't think they go in there and run away with it by any stretch, but I think they're capable of going in and picking up the win, and that leads us to our a team in a similar situation that is 0-1 in conference, needs a win, and that's North Pitt. And a disappointing effort against Southwest Edgecombe. I know we kind of thought Southwest might pull away a little bit late and kind of just outgrind North Pitt a little bit, and it seemed like that was maybe not quite what happened, because North Pitt scored first in that game to go up 6-0, and then Southwest rolled off 48 straight points and really kind of dominated the latter stages of that game. So this is a North Pitt team that's on the road at Beddingfield, which has been really good, really athletic the last couple of years, and this is as much as we harped on how improved North Pitt was early in the year, they've kind of hit that point in the year where it seems like maybe a little bit of a rut for them. I think they're struggling. They need a win. I don't know if this is the week to go on the road and get it. This Bedingfield team, not great, but I don't know that North Pitt is trending in the right direction right now. I think I'm going to take the Bruins here.
All right, yeah, you hit all those points I completely agree with. I think North Pitt's hit somewhat of a wall at this point. They had some, when they made the quarterback switch and some of the things they were doing, what's now 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think that had a little bit of a spark, but that didn't produce wins, and that's tough for these kids.
Right.
Rose was in it early in the year. It's tough to play well at times but still lose, or, at some point you're kind of going to run out of steam a little bit. I think the Panthers are maybe not completely there, but it's tough. I feel like they're just in a tough spot right now. I think they might fight at some point. They might beat Farmville Central or have one night where it just kind of randomly comes together all for one reason or another, and they play really well. I don't think it's this week. I think you're right. I think Bedingfield is just in a better position. They're at home. I'm going with the Bruins as well. So all the same picks for us again. But I'm still I'm 50-50 on Kinston.
Floundering on the Chargers pick there.
So sure I didn't convince myself to pick Kinston in that one. So maybe we could say I went with Kinston.
Well, if it changes, you can just put it out there on Twitter.
There you go.
Yeah,
I picked both teams.
Exactly.
So we're good.
Exactly. He's on Twitter at RonnieW11. I'm on Twitter at Reflector Jordan. We'll have updates from our games on Friday night and the other games. We'll have Rose, North Pitt, Farmville Central. We'll have be tweeting out updates on those. We'll have stories on all those games in Saturday's Reflector at reflector.com. All kinds of fun stuff going on, and I'll have my usual notebook next Tuesday. We've got high school coverage from here to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Ronnie pretty much trying to hit it pretty hard because, man, we're into the second half of the year, and these weeks are counting down, clicking
Playoffs
away right
coming
here.
Up for
yeah,
sure.
So we're getting close to that point. So hope you guys enjoyed. Enjoy the games on Friday night. Check the Reflector and reflector.com for results on Saturday, and we'll see you guys back here next week for another forecast.